Greetings from sunny Central Florida. Let's get into crafting.
Hey neighbors, welcome to my channel. This video is part of the What Would You Make playlist for the month of November. Wow, can't believe it. Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY is our host, as is Christine from Divine Designs, and then we have Alilcia at Lavender and Lace. Hope I'm saying that right. This video has a little bit of a smaller scale Christmas decor, so I hope you enjoy. Project number 1, small wall hanging sign. It's like, a normal wall hanging. It's just on the smaller side. I'm guessing, well, the stencil, I guess, is like 4x5, and the sign is square, so it's a little bit bigger than that. So this is a chalk couture project. These are the surfaces they included with a 8x10 sheet of 4 stencils each, and that's about as much math as I am gonna do. So yeah, I went through the surfaces are in the shape of gingerbread houses, so I picked the one I thought looked best in this size of sign, and then just cut it right out. I could have done a smaller one and maybe added stuff. And I did add a few stuff at the end that you'll see in the final reveal. But let's go ahead and go through the process here. So you see I have some cinnamon sticks there. I decided I would, just kind of put it down where the roof is and then base the rest of the florals up top. I do a dry fit, and that's all you're going to see in this part of the video, and then you'll see where they're actually glued in the final reveal. You'll see, I show you what happens, why you don't see it, but just one thing after another. With this particular video, I had like cords all over the place and here and there, and things were falling down and everything. But so here I am, figuring out how I want that little top, the floral, what's the word, swag, how I want that swag to look like. And then I just kind of pushed it out of camera view at some point here. I went ahead and sprayed this with that clear spray. You really have to be careful with chalk couture. The less porous the surface is, the better. So it doesn't do great on wood unless you do like a really good coating. So I think I did like 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3. I don't want to say sprays, but I gave it a good spray, and I did that 3 times. And then after it's done, I'll do the same. I'll give it a bunch more sprays. I want to say coats, like I guess you could say coats. So make sure you get, I did fuzz this before I put it on. I just stick it on my shirt a couple times, and make sure you get it down there nice and tight, like kind of rub your fingers over where all the silkscreen part is, or else you just, especially with something small and detailed like this, you're not going to get the paste in there very good. This is just I want to say bright white paste. There was a sale, and I got a white and black in the tubs, and then a bunch of Christmas colors, and I think like a ocean color. I like the singles. I get them because I'm in the chalk couture club, and they include them with the stencils. And a lot of times I don't use them right away, and I keep a collection. And you just want to keep track of it. Like every once in a while, just go through your packets and knead them to make sure they're not, drying up. So I'm going to go through and do most of the stencil in white. And I just wanted a second color, so I picked that, I think that one's Currant Jam, but all their reddish colors are very, very close. I actually set them next to each other, and, I would have been able to guess the names of them had I not seen them. So I just wanted to show you the close-ups. See all those tiny little details. So not the easiest. I definitely would not start chalking with this kind of stencil. I would suggest a little bit bigger and less detail. But yeah, you just have to be careful, and I am not striving for perfection here. I just wiped out some white there. It kind of got spread there. And you want to pull up after you're done, and then when you put it back down, make sure again the place where the stencil silkscreen part is down there nice and tight. I usually rub it with my finger before. And see, I'll put some down and lift it, put some down and lift it. And I have never bought one of those small squeegees, and I really should, because it would really come in handy for something like this. I bought a couple of regular squeegees and cut them, but this one is probably about twice the size as what would be better. Okay. So I think it turned out pretty good, all said and done. So I got some wood glue and some Gorilla Glue sticks. I thought those were wood glue. I'm not sure. I got 2 of them, so maybe I messed up. And that's what it looks like on the sign. So I decided not to do anything with the sign. I'm not going to paint it. I'm not going to coat it, like spray it or anything like that. And the beaded hanger, I'm just going to leave it. I think there's a lot going on with everything else, so I'm just going to keep that plain. And I think as Brenda said, when she uses the 2 glues, she doesn't put the wood glue, like the wet glue, on the outside edges, because it's liquid and it'll make the wood sort of like puff up a little bit. So with that in mind, I put the wet glue on the inside and the hot glue on the edges. And it really just gets down there in a couple seconds. That was Aileen's wood glue, in case you didn't notice. I think I got that at Walmart. I get a lot of the glues and stuff at Walmart because I think there's not that much of a difference in price. They gave me 4 of those red and white ties, so I decided to put one inside the frame. It was more than enough length to it, so in fact I had to trim it at the end. And I'm just using a little bit of hot glue. I set it down and then I drag the glue gun, like I touch the wood with it, and then I get that little string in there. And this is what happens, and you'll get a better look at the final reveal. Project number 2 is a small A-frame swinging sign. It's like a small decor. I didn't really know what else to call it. Something like I would put on an end table or underneath a lamp or maybe even on a bookshelf. So these are the stencils that I chose. The angel one is so pretty. It's got just enough detail to be easy to chalk and still look really, really good after you're done. The little bird one is a little bit more detailed, but I did add 3 colors to it, so that makes it a little more difficult, but I still like how it turned out. So the sign is attached to the frame by those little faux leather hangers. And then they kind of remind me of dumbbells, like little metal dumbbells, and they're loose inside, so they're easy to take on and off. So this is white wax. The COUTURE on the packaging recommended surface wax, which is something they sell. So it does take a little while to dry. That's why I said after a few minutes. And I use white wax because it's the only wax I have. And if they say surface wax, for whatever reason, they want this surface to be waxed. Oh my gosh. Okay, that sounds silly. But anyways, I rub it with my surface wax, both sides. Give it some time to dry. And don't do the wax. I've learned not to do the wax too thick. it gets kind of gungy, and I've learned to really give it that little while to dry as well too. This is that pretty bright white that I just got in the tub. Really easy to just spread on there. I don't know why, but I decided there needed to be a second color in this stencil, and I probably could have got away with just white. But I picked that little, it's like an ocean mist, like barely blue. And I decided the horn and the like little halo area there would be that color. But after I saw it, I kind of was like, I don't know. And, I did a little bit of fixing up afterwards. And I believe I'll show that. You can use like a little skewer stick or just an old paintbrush or even like a really, really small paintbrush. So I went ahead and did the blue. See, I should have done like a gold. Maybe gold would have looked good. But let's get, I guess I left in a little bit here. Okay, there. Now see how the blue really doesn't show up all that much. So I'm going to come in with the white, and I'm going to fill in, it's not meant to be full coverage, but I'm going to fill in some of the blank spots because I didn't like how it looked. And I guess I'm using a paintbrush, but not really using it as a paintbrush, more like a stick. And the eyes didn't really pop out, so I went ahead and painted in the eyes. And then I didn't want to do the whole horn because I already had the blue there, so I took a little of the white and outlined it. I didn't show that because this was getting long. Because, you're not supposed to like show so much painting and everything because I don't want to bore you guys. But I didn't show the other side of the sign because it was just too detailed. And you get the idea of how to do it. And you will get a better look at this with the florals in the final reveal. Okay, project number 3 is a table wreath with candle. She made something like this many, 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 many years ago when I was creating budget decor with budget supplies, and actually just used cardboard from a box and a little, I think I had like an old wreath or something, and then I just refreshed it. And it lasted, I still have it. It's in the box with my Christmas decor. So this is going to be a new one and a bigger one and much nicer florals that I purchased at Walmart. I purchased 2 sticks of Christmas florals. I think they were like $4.99 each, but there's like maybe 8 picks on each one. Like, they're huge. So, I couldn't resist. And I've been kind of tired of the floppy, thin Dollar Tree flowers. Not all of them are like that, but a lot. So I'm using Walmart flowers for this project. This is a burnt umber acrylic paint by Apple Barrel. And I'm using a diaper wipe or, a wet wipe to put it on. And basically, get the paint on there, spread it, and then try and even it out. That's basically what I do. I did both sides, and then I walked around and, flapped it in the air to get it dry. And at first I was going to drill a couple holes and attach the wreath form to the wood, but I kind of like the idea, like, if you bump into it, the candle might fall over, but the florals are going to stay put. I kind of liked the idea of it being separate. And so I decided to leave it like that. And, if I find it's just moving apart too much, I'll go back in and attach it. So there's the base I created. I just took some floral wire, that green floral wire, and I attached a few picks just to get things started. And each pick probably had at least 2 or 3 parts of it where I wired it to the wreath form. And that wreath form was in a pack of 2 from Dollar Tree. And then I came back in with it because I had I cut all the picks off of the 2 things that I had, so I have all these perfectly sized pieces to, and I'm just poking them in. So it's like 3 parts. Basically, create the base by wiring them in. Then you can poke in to fill in the wreath. And then at the end, we're just going to do some hot glue. And I like to just like glue leaves together, or glue like the underside of a flower to a leaf. And that's just to bring it in, make it tighter, so there's not so many flyaways. And look, you don't need all these fancy gadgets to make this particular piece of decor. I'm using like an old glue gun. My mom's apartment when we were cleaning it out, I think she had like about 5 glue guns. And I believe this is even a low temp glue gun, but my glue sticks that I have now fit it. So I get the glue on the leaf there, see? And then I'll just glue another leaf or another floral to each other. This is pretty much it, guys. Just, use your eye, do what looks good, make your eyes happy, try and balance it out. There's a lot of color on one side, maybe put a little bit more color on the other side. You don't want like all the color on one side and all the greenery on the other, just kind of play with it. I think it took me more than an hour to do all the floral part of this. Like, I couldn't believe it. And ask me how I know that, because I accidentally left my camera going after I thought I had turned it out. And there was an hour and a half piece of a video. And I was wondering why it was saving my pictures to the cloud. And that's because I was running out of room. So some great pics in the final reveal.